Hello, my friends. How are y'all doing? Welcome to CJ Reads Books. I'm CJ, and today we're going to be reviewing The First Confessor by Terry Goodkind. So I've got lots of mixed reviews about Goodkind. I've got several people who you know, appreciate. My best friend recommended Goodkind to me 15 years ago. Loved him. Loved him. Granted, I've only read 2 of his books so far, but I love the way that he builds his worlds. And I was recently talking to someone who wasn't quite of a fan as I was, and that's okay because I like to know the who's, its, and whys and stuff like that. So, good kindness not for everybody, and it's okay. I do like Goodkind and his world building. But before I get too far into it, let's get into it. So, yeah, I first read Terry Goodkind 15 years ago. My best friend and I were living together, and he was like, hey, because we were both fantasy fanatics. Back then, I didn't read anything but fantasy. So, I was into Robert Jordan, I was into Terry Goodkind, Mercedes Lackeys, all that stuff. Now that I've further expanded my knowledge outside of the fantasy realm, I've decided to come back to Terry Goodkind's The First Confessor. So, The First Confessor is a prequel to the Sword of Truth series. Wizard's First Rule is the first book, and I've already finished and read that one, but I will be doing a reread and be doing a re-review of it. So don't worry. I do own the book, but I wanna, own the whole series too, coming in the present, future, whatever. So it's the beginning. So it's pretty much the origin story. It was written in 2015, and I remember the first time that I saw it, I was at Half Price Books back in my hometown, and I looked at it and I was like, I'm getting it because it was pretty, it was gold, it had this little pretty tree of life on it, and I just thought it was gorgeous, and I was like, it's Terry Goodkind. And then I saw that it was the prequel to the Sword of Truth, and I'm like, sold. You got me. You got me. It was like $15 or something. I'm like, you got me. I don't even care. You got me. There's this one, and then there's the Dead of Bones, which I do have in my cart on thriftbooks.com. So I will be ordering that once I get a little extra pieces of income. The thing about Terry Goodkind that I enjoy is that he creates very simple worlds. He is great at world building, but it is not super complicated like a lot of the other worlds that I've read. And yeah, there is a war aspect because always fantasy worlds always have some kind of conspiracy or some kind of war against each other and stuff like that. That's understood. But he doesn't spend 40 chapters talking about that. He lets it be known. He introduces the good guys, the bad guys, and everything in between, and finito. It's done. Like, he does such a superb job, and the characters are lovely. The main character is a female main character, and she is written pretty well for a dude. Like, I don't like it usually when men write women because sometimes it can be a little intense. Like, it's sometimes it's bad. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But this one was okay. He made her very strong, um, even in times of grief and distress. He made her very independent, and it was cool to read and it was cool to be introduced to all the side characters as well. None of the characters that he introduced were unimportant. And when if he would introduce an unimportant character, it was just one and done kind of thing. So I enjoyed that a lot because it's a struggle when you read about a character and then the author keeps bringing them up but like doesn't give them any like specific important role, and you're just sitting there going the whole time like, why is this character important, why does he keep bringing it up? Yeah, foreshadowing for some other stuff, but sometimes they don't even bring them back up. Like I've read books that they're like, oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna bring this character up, but screw you. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. So he does a really good job of introducing the characters and all that stuff, and no side characters are unimportant. This is what I love about it. And the plot was very straightforward. It wasn't like any like 6 or 7 plot points. There were good 2 or 3 plot points that you could easily follow. And once he concluded that plot point, he would add another one and all that stuff and made it interesting. Now, it could have been the fact that I have read this book before. So I did get an air of familiarity after about halfway through. I was like, oh, I've read this before. But about 2/3 of the way through, I was like, okay, this looks unfamiliar. Unfamiliar territory. I have started it. I just didn't complete it because life. I love this series, and I like how in this book there were a lot of Easter eggs for the first official book, Wizard's First Rule. So I was really excited about that because I had read Wizard's First Rule before once. I started it plenty of times, but I finished it once. And I'm excited to read it after this because now I feel like I know the origin story. I know how this world was created and how this world was born. And now I'm excited to continue with the story. Yeah, it was really really amazing, and I missed reading traditional fantasy stories a lot because you don't encounter a traditional fantasy every day now. It's either romantasy or cozy fantasy. There is not really like a straight shot magic, like wizard type fantasy. You don't find that much anymore. It's very rare that you find a traditional fantasy story. So I'm excited to start the series again and actually finish it this time. Now there are like what 12 to 24 books or something in the whole like official series. So I'm a little overwhelmed by that. But I figure since I'm reading more nowadays anyway, I might as well just slow it down and just keep going. And plus I can build my collection, my Goodkind collection, and maybe one day have a Goodkind shelf. Who knows? Having read the first official book over 10 years ago, it had good foreshadowing. If you haven't read the first book, there won't be any spoilers in here. I'm just saying there's a lot of Easter eggs, but you won't know what it is. It's too much of a book for you to like know what kind of Easter eggs there are. This is by far my favorite fantasy universe so far. Still, after 15 years. That might change as I read on because there were a couple trigger warnings introduced to me from some friends. But it's okay. I'm going to read them. No judgment, none whatsoever. On page 298, y'all know that I really like to look for the title and how the title got its name and stuff in the book. On page 298, there it is, the title. And I said also, there are so many layers to a good fantasy book. Keep peeling those layers back. I also put in parentheses, I hate when men write women. It's that power struggle sometimes. I'm just like, oh, guys, come on now. So I'm glad there are a lot of more female fantasy authors nowadays. But I mean, come on, let's write something more traditional. Anyway, so I rated this book a 4 out of 5 stars. It didn't get the complete 5 for me because, as nostalgic as it was a little too simple. But like I said, this was merely just an origin story. It was just a placeholder where Terry Goodkind could be like, I've been working on this, but here you go. Here's how my world was formed. And that is pretty cool within itself. I can't wait to read the other books too. That is my review. Now, this is my second video that I filmed. I was trying something new and then I didn't like what I tried. So I just threw that one away. This is what you're gonna get. I hope you enjoy it. It is purely me in all of my fantastic glory. Look at my shirt. This is my favorite shirt in the whole world. It's Toothless, written by Batman. Coolest shirt ever. Love it. Click all my buttons, please, if you do like this review and you want to support me and you have no money. I don't care. Click all my buttons. Come talk with me about this book. Tell me why you like Terry Goodkind. Tell me why you don't like Terry Goodkind. I would love to hear your opinion. Anything that you would like to say. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I do try to put out videos every week. I schedule videos too, so they're constantly getting put out. But that brings me to my next point. If you subscribe to my new Patreon down below in the links, you will get the video literally 2 minutes after I edit it. So you will get me in all my glory for $4.99 a month. You will get it immediately. So think about that. If you can't do that, it's okay. Down below, even further, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link. If you want to support me in other ways, send me a couple dollars to buy me a coffee. It don't matter. Like I said, any support is good support for me. Uh, but I do have an Etsy store too. If you would like some benefits out of that, I sell blind dates with the books, and it's really cute, and they're all packaged up and made from love by moi. So check that out. If you have some gifts you want to send to friends or just a little gift you want to send to yourself, check it out. Also, I play video games online sometimes. Um, right now, I'm working on Tales of Vesperia. If you want to see me grind, whatever, click link below. Any of those things that I just stated, clicking my buttons, clicking any of those links down below, will support me in some way or another. So whatever support you can give is great for me. You making it to the end of this video is fantastic enough for me. Thank you for continuing with me on this journey. It's so much fun making these videos and wanting to finish books so I can make these videos for y'all. It's so much fun. And I love doing this. It is definitely my number one passion right now in my life, which is kind of sad, but not really because I have no life. I work and I come home and I have a 10-year-old, and that's about all I do. So, yeah, thank you for joining me and continuously supporting me. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.